watch this black man's face and watch the revisionist history that many people try to enact on the black situation in America, and pay attention to the exact words that are being said.
Friends for years.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Had we worked more of them than anybody in this country?
Yes, sir. Sure have.
Right. You got hungry, we give you something to eat, don't we, Bill?
Yes, sir.
And his name is Billy Weatherly. Billy Weatherly, that's right. No relation now, but these are Weatherly, right? All right, Bill.
Yes, sir.
Try that name, Mr. Bill. I expect that name came down to the slavery. Try that name, Mr. Bill.
Yes, sir.
Billy Weatherly.
Yes, sir.
I think everybody look there a little like Weatherly blues.
Yes, sir.
How many people it is here in Pine Hill tonight at 12 o'clock you could go ask them for help, they wouldn't help you.
I am, but what?
Bill, if you got in trouble, who'd you go to, the white or the black? Tell the truth now. That's a bad person to ask Bill, put him on the spot, because there ain't no color folks here. You don't want him bad right by himself. But is it anybody here that wouldn't help you, Billy?
No.
We have always got along fine with the niggers. We never mistreated them. And there's no complaints. And they are all happy. White all colored and gather here that is willing to pay the price. Yes, sir. The price is willing to do out a lot of things you think you got to have and work like the dickens.
Now, a few days ago, I did a video where Charlie Kirk was trying to say that black families and black people were financially better off prior to the 1960s and 70s, prior to the 1970s than they are today. That black people were growing and better than they are today. Black families had more structure than they do today. Now, what he was talking about was more of a social economics, social racism, not economic racism. But even in this video, we see a combination of the two. And what do we see? We see that there was a effort by Southern white people to emphasize how these Northern politics of getting rid of Jim Crow laws and enacting the Civil Rights Bill was a detriment to the black people in the South. That there weren't any problems going on. You saw how they were saying, oh, everybody get along fine down here. You know, the black folks is happy. He used a different term, but the black folks are happy down here. Who the 3 levels of hell do you think you are to be able to determine whether or not black people are happy with their situation? See, what he's really saying is that as long as we maintain our separation, as long as we maintain our social economic dominance over the black people in our community, and the black people didn't have any rights to be able to circumvent the things that we were doing, the black people were just happy. And did you notice Mr. Billy's face when they asked him who would you go to, the black people or the white people? He couldn't answer that question because he knew that at that time frame, that if he were to have answered that question and said that he would go to the black people first, that those white men would have strung his ass up, plain and simple. He knew that. He knew the understanding, he knew the circumstances to which he was living under, and he couldn't espouse that. Now, they tried to clean it up by saying that he was the only black person that lived in their community, so they put him on the spot by asking him that question according to their words. And then later on come back and say that the black folks that we do have here, they use the different words, that they're good and they're happy. Which is it? Is he the only one? Is he the only one? Or are there more for you to be able to make that statement? And that y'all are willing to help this man. You're willing to help this man as long as this man stay in his place. Now, my grandfather used to tell me about this type of situation. He grew up in Carrollton, Georgia. Well, he was born in Alabama, but he grew up in Carrollton, Georgia. And in Carrollton, Georgia, he recognized that there was certain things that a black man can do, can't do. Otherwise, he's going to end up hanging from a tree in Carrollton, Georgia, if he were to have expressed himself in the way that he desired to express himself. If he had acted the way that he desired to act, that he knew that there are certain things that he could and could not do, which is one of the reasons why he moved to Smyrna, Georgia, then Marietta, Georgia, so that he can escape some of the ignorance that was going on in Carrollton, Georgia, out there in rural Georgia. But he still experienced those same types of events in the cities of Smyrna and Marietta, which is outside of Atlanta, that he experienced in Carrollton. But as time went on, and more policies were put in place to prohibit white people from being able to oppress black people in the same level that they did in Jim Crow. And it's not that they didn't try, because they still had different things to try to prevent them from voting, prevent black people from voting, prevent them from starting businesses and things of that nature. They still did things to try to break up the black family. You see, that part of history is they're trying to revise it. They're trying to make it seem like black people benefited from the oppression to which white people had placed upon them, when this is simply just not the fact. This is just them trying to obfuscate from the oppression to which they knew that they were invoking on people, and try to make it seem like everybody was happy and everybody was good and there was no reason to disturb it. And of course, if you're the people in power, there's never a reason to disturb it, according to you. But we know the truth is that things weren't fair, things weren't equal. People didn't have the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You didn't have your constitutional rights to which you were promised. So to people like Charlie Kirk and anybody else who would think that this video is appropriate, that this video is telling the truth of the conditions in the South in 1965, well, you just a lying-ass liar, and you need to stop lying. So tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and share. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.